Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is 8 o'clock, February 22nd, 2017. If you'll all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Administration.
Item 3.1, to consider the naming, advertising, and sponsorship agreement for the Bicentennial Center.
Mr. Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I bring a very exciting item to you today.
Sorry.
A naming rights, advertising, and sponsorship agreement with Schwann's Shared Services. As you know, the Bicentennial Center opened in 1979. Over the last 5 years, our management partner has been Global Spectrum. In that management agreement, the City of Salina has challenged Global Spectrum to seek out sponsorship partners in our community to help promote the building and the events that are held there. The contract attached to your blue sheet represents the most significant partnership in the history of the building. I'll go over several of the highlights of the terms of that agreement. In that agreement, the facility would be renamed the Tony's Pizza Events Center. The City of Salina would be compensated $1.2 million for that, which represents $80,000 per year for the life of the 15-year term of the contract. Schwann's will have the opportunity also for additional sponsorship signage in various places inside and outside the building. The concession areas will be rebranded and have the opportunity to sell Schwann's products in the concession areas and elsewhere within the facility. At this time, I would like to introduce the Regional Vice President of Global Spectrum, Rick Hauntz.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to come up here and speak. Almost 6 years ago, we started here and with the idea that we were going to put the building in a better position financially. At that time, it was between $900,000 and $1 million of deficit for the subsidy. As we stand today, we're between $500,000 and $600,000, and trying to get to that goal of $450,000. And by doing this, we increase event activity, making sure that when we have the events that we run it in an efficient way, and also to build strategic partnerships is another key way we do this. Today is a great example of building that strategic partnership. I had the pleasure of having dinner last night with the Director of PR and Corporate Communications with Schwann's, and we talked about a lot of different opportunities to help market events and help their product. But that's what we're all about. I mean, that's what Spectra, Global Spectrum, that's what we do, build strategic partnerships. We believe this partnership will move us forward to getting to that ultimately financial goal. So, again, thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you. Steve, I just need to take a minute. Two
Sure.
commissioners reminded me I didn't have roll call for the formal record. I'm sorry. We know we're all here, but we better have it for the formal roll call.
Mayor Crawford,
Here.
Commissioner Blanchard,
Here.
Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Hodges,
Here.
Commissioner Ryan.
Okay. Now we're formal.
Okay, thank you, no problem. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mike Smith. He's the Vice President of Public Relations and Corporate Communications for Schwann's. Mike.
Good morning.
Morning. How's everyone?
Good.
Good. All right. I got a little bit of like cold or allergies. I can't decide, but it's throwing me off a little bit. But thank you for the opportunity to be here today and represent the Schwann Food Company. We're really excited about this opportunity to work with you. I'll talk a little bit about the company. I got some prepared remarks, and then I'm happy to take questions if you have them. As you probably know, the Schwann Food Company is one of the leading frozen food companies in the United States and has a long history here in Salina. Most people know us for our yellow trucks outside of Salina. In Salina, everyone knows us for Tony's Pizza, but we've got the yellow trucks, and we've got some great brands, including Tony's, that are sold in every grocery store in America, which is something we're very proud of. For those of you that don't know, we did buy the facility here in 1970. And it's an interesting story. Marvin Schwann, the founder of Schwann's, put an ad in the Wall Street Journal and just said, wanted frozen pizza manufacturer. And we got a call from the people here at Tony's. And since that time, we've had incredible growth. And for those of you who have been here a long time, have seen that facility grow from 12,000 square feet to 500,000 square feet. And I always get a kick out of it when I go out there because it's a little bit of almost like a Lego set. The way Marvin Schwann would not take a loan. He would only add on as the revenue and the profits came in. So that facility has grown to be what we believe to be the largest pizza facility in the world, which is something that we're very, 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 very proud of and keeps us very busy there every day. So certainly our facility here is extraordinarily important, and as part of the re-engagement with the Salina community that this deal will represent, we're also spending $70 million in our facility last year and this year to renovate it. It's the start of a massive renovation to improve our operations, become more efficient. It'll benefit our employees and obviously enable us to do more in the community too. And this couldn't happen without the Salina community. It couldn't happen without our employees. And it couldn't happen without our customers, of Tony's. And so it's a real fun combination, I think, what we're putting together here with Spectra. We've got 1,100 employees here in town. Our new plant director just started about a month ago. His name's Todd Clark. He's still getting his feet wet and in meetings, I think, in Atlanta. He'll look forward to getting to know all of you here too, and he'll be working a lot with the Spectra team to get our employees and their families to the facility. I mean, before I go, I just want to thank the commission and you, Mayor Crawford, and everybody involved at Spectra in putting this deal together. It's an exciting opportunity for our company. Our CEO, who's in board meetings today, couldn't be here. He's a Greek immigrant, and he always has different quotes, but he means them. He says, "I only want to support the communities that support us," and the community of Salina has supported Schwann's for a long time, and this is a tremendous opportunity for us to give back, I think, to the community. Certainly, it will benefit us and our brands and our employees, but we look at it as a partnership. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and I'm happy to take any questions if we have them or if it's appropriate. So,
Any questions?
Not at this time.
great, thank you.
Not at this time, I
Appreciate
guess. Thank you.
The only thing left on our staff report is our staff recommendation. Obviously, the staff recommends to approve resolution 17-7438, approving a naming, advertising, and sponsorship agreement with Schwann's Shared Services and authorizing Global Spectrum to execute the agreement as agent on behalf of the City of Salina. At that time, we'd all stand for questions.
Questions?
I have a couple of questions, and it's more just kind of running through this blue sheet. I appreciate it being brief since we haven't had a whole lot of time to look at it. I think it's very comprehensive. But just on I noticed there's a bullet list of all where the signage and branding will take place and so on. And I just logistically am wanting to know. So we just had the architects in here and doing a lot of signage and stuff. Who will we use to make sure that is put in the right places, is sized proportionally and works with all the renovations and the upgrades that we've had thus far?
Yeah, our staff obviously will work with Spectra, and I'll go ahead and defer the specific answer to that question to Steve or Ron.
We'll have Ron talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ron Rideout with the Bicentennial Center General Manager can cover that for you.
Okay, great.
We've met with some local sign companies. We've met with some companies that Schwann's has used in other areas as well, to really kind of talk about some of those things and logistically how that will work and lay out. But we've been very mindful about, obviously we want to get their brand across and we want them to have the recognition that they deserve, but at the same point be very mindful of the facility and do it in a very tasteful way. So we've really been very cautious on where we put it and being very systematic that it's not an overkill. It is very tasteful and done in a way that kind of accomplishes both goals.
And if you have anything that kind of comes up that might be a little tricky with you, do you have in-house staff within the company that that you can call on to run something by as
Definitely.
far as
Definitely.
some of
We
your
have an
other arena
extensive
help or whatever?
department, both on the corporate sales side as well as the operations side, that can help us through some things. We were actually, talking. I was talking with some of our operations staff in our corporate office yesterday to discuss some things involving the basketball court and some stuff like that. So we are very strategically placed with that, and this is something that I know specifically in Rick's region we've done a couple of times with some renaming of some facilities that he oversees.
Okay. And then just the other thing in relation to that, it's come up in the past on other projects. Structurally, is the improvements that we're going to be doing here and the cost that we're going to be putting out for the signage, just going to be for the signage? Are we pretty well set on structurally where most of these will be going, that we don't have to go back in and beef up structure?
There's a small amount of electrical work that will need to be done, obviously for
Right.
meeting some of the needs of some of the signs that currently aren't there. As far as the structure goes, we've met with some groups and thus far haven't seen any major hurdles that need to be overcome. So at this point, I feel that we're in pretty good shape.
Okay. And then just one last question, and that is on timing. And when would the final product be visible to everyone using the center, from signage and websites and letterhead and so on? And I see all the folks from Visit Salina here, and it's great to see them here. Do we have any requirements of them that we want them to have this naming placed in a certain way? Is there obligations in that fashion?
With your approval today, we will answer the phone with the new name in minutes.
Okay.
So we will begin that transition, with the approval, and signage will take some time. I mean, some are still being officially developed and placed, but in the next 6 to 8 weeks, we would
Okay.
hope that would be done or very, very close to. We would have a transition in our marketing strategy, obviously, and just awareness and different things to help get people both locally, regionally, nationally aware that we've changed names.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to pass resolution 177438.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 177438, approving a naming, advertising, and sponsorship agreement with Schwann's Shared Services, LLC, and authorizing Global Spectrum LP to execute the agreement as agent on behalf of the City of Salina.
Second. Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 177438, approving naming, advertising, and sponsorship agreement with Schwann's Shared Services, better known as Tony's Pizza. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Well, I think we
Commissioners,
have
real
some
quick,
extra
if I
business
may.
here.
I know you don't have a other business item on this agenda as you normally would, but I do have another business item for you, if you don't mind, and we appear to have time. What I'd like you to do, if you would, I'd like to have you go in executive session for 10 minutes for personnel, and I believe that the city clerk has the motion for you. Just to give you a quick briefing, no action will take place coming out. I wanted to see if you had time this morning. Looks like you will, so.
We'll see who likes whose motion best.
Right. Madam Mayor, I move to recess into executive session for 10 minutes for the purpose of discussing matters pertaining to non-elected city personnel for the reason that public discussion of the matter would violate the privacy rights of the non-elected personnel involved, and reconvene at 8:25 a.m.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn into executive session. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No, there'll be
No,
no
he said
action.
no
And
action,
the other
yeah.
thing as well is, in following the action you just took in your open meeting, we anticipate, we don't know who, but some of you may actually want to journey over to the Bicentennial Center, which is now the Tony's Pizza Event Center. Gotta get that right myself. And so doing that, our recommendation is that you don't officially adjourn this meeting because the topics are so related. Keep it open, you can adjourn it over there. So
Okay.
when you come back, we'll recommend that you don't adjourn, that you just in essence recess the meeting until you get there.
Recess, okay.
Do we recess to a time certain, just Or? No, that's. Okay.